Welcome to the Fresh Inspiration Show with founder and host Rhonda Liebig, energy revitalizer and mindset freedom coach and #1 best-selling author. We are here to freshly inspire you, uplift you, and transform you with our unique mindset transformation entertainment show. Get ready as we kick it into high gear, arousing your motivation in lifestyle, vitality, and business. But before we walk through the threshold and start the Fresh Inspiration Show, take a deep breath. Check in. What is your level of belief in you to conquer this new world? And then do yourself a favor. Before you exit our show, ask yourself, what is your level of transformation? Because we know if you believe it, you can achieve it. And that's why the biggest, best, and boldest inspirers are here for you right now. Buckle up. Yeah, you've got this.
Fresh inspiration. Fresh inspiration. Fresh inspiration. Fresh inspiration.
How much relief will you get when you're ready to let go of that? And then really, it literally is, Rhonda, like unpacking a suitcase from a really long trip. Yeah. And some people move through it much quicker than other people. You might do really fast through one spot and not through another. And so, you know, my job as a coach really is to listen and ask questions. I don't pretend to have the answers for my clients at all. Everybody has their own experiences, their own perspectives, their own perceptions about things. Yeah. But what the most important thing is, you touched on this a little bit ago, was like safety. There are times, I have clients who have never ever had that safe and sacred space to like let down all the walls and to share the things that weigh so heavily on their hearts that they've never been able to tell anybody before. And so when clients have the ability to like have that feeling of safety, like it's physical safety, emotional safety, right? Safety, you know, just knowing that what they say is not going to be used against them, because oftentimes people are in relationships, right? All you want is intimacy and vulnerability with your partner or your friend or your parent or your children or whatever relationship we're talking about. And you open your heart up and you share that, but you don't get back what you really, really needed in those moments. And so one of the things that I hold really high is being able to being able to hold that space in a way that people can share their heart and what's weighing them down. It's the sacred space for that, for sure. I mean,
yeah, there's a couple times like that I can think of right now, but I think it's probably threaded throughout my life. I have abuse in my background, and I know that I don't carry this 100% like I used to, and I've always chipped away at it, but when I came into the entrepreneur space, I knew that I would not be able to be as a person that could hold space for somebody and be able to be quiet and listen to them unless I started my journey of clearing stuff that I felt there was a lot of pain there. Having that part in my background, I can remember being at school, and you know, my background is accounting, and also passing the CPA exam was a really hard thing for me because I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I was even worthy of that. And I think sometimes even the worthiness comes in with not feeling safe. Like I'd rather back out and not be part of anything because it just doesn't feel safe. I don't feel, you know, well inside. Do you find that when you're working with people, like the worthiness also, that they're worth something, does that come and show up too in that space?
Oh, most definitely. And I think because, you know, I've worked through those things as well. I think it's helpful when you've experienced things very similar with your clients, and I think oftentimes that's what attracts a client to a coach, like for a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, like I would rather just be in the back of the room waiting for someone to approach me rather than to just put myself out there, right?
Yeah.
There's less risk in that, but there's a lot of risk in like being in the back of the room too, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, to answer your question, absolutely. It's about the worthiness, do I deserve to have love and attention, things of that nature, especially like women entrepreneurs, right? Like really being able to dig into what's your value, charge what you're worth,
Yeah.
like charge what you're worth. And we all work on that. I'll speak for myself, work on that, right? And I support my clients in doing that as well, especially, like in relationships too, because sometimes there's that back and forth in the relationship. Well, do I deserve love? Do I not deserve? Am I being needy? Am I asking too much? All of those things that push and pull you. But through coaching and through, accountability, which actually it's a huge tool to build your confidence, right? Because you've got to like have those little milestones as you go along, try different things, step out of your comfort zone. Most people would say just trying different things, and it really starts to build your confidence, and little by little, and sometimes there's big steps, right? But that's the thing that really anchors in the self-worth and the confidence that goes with that.
There's two things there that I want to unpack. First thing is, you're talking about being an entrepreneur and, and then the income part. I can remember when I first started going out and speaking, I knew it wasn't perfect because, we can all see like, oh, I could have done better. So if people didn't rush to me, because when I first started, that was people like, people are going to rush to the back of the room. This is the formula and stuff like that. Because I was new, went behind the ears thing. I got to follow this formula. Oh, yeah. And when people didn't rush, because I was quite vulnerable in my talks. So I could have went around and worked the room, like talk to people after my talk and all that. What happened is I'd coil back and I'd feel so bad about myself. And I would think of the stuff that didn't work. So for everybody out there that's entrepreneurs, think about what we're talking about here, and Debbie's expertise is when you're out there and you're exposing you and yourself and your clientele and the changes that they're getting and how you're doing stuff, that this is a fabulous way to find out, like what Debbie is talking about, the accountability. And Debbie, with getting to know you throughout this year, is that I find that you are an easy person to approach and you're very relaxed. Like, I don't feel like you're like hovering over people. I feel like you're more like this person that likes to be, like just kind of breathe in the air. And I really appreciate that about you.
I haven't always been that way. I have, and I'm really glad that you brought that up, because I used to be, the feedback I would get would be that I was unapproachable.
Yeah. You've done some healing.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The reality was I had so many walls up unintentionally, like inside. I knew that wasn't who I was, but that's what people were experiencing. And so that's not the case anymore, because I paid attention to it. And like you said, like, you do a little bit of work around it, right? And the one thing you were talking about, when you were doing your talks, when I finally got permission from I don't even know who to stop memorizing speeches, stop worrying about everything, just get in the front of the room. It was Julie. Just get in the front of them and just be you. Just be you. Like, okay. And the value thing, right? Like, I don't know if that's going to work, but it works.
Can we go in the relationship area and talk about that?
Sure.
So, I know that there are a couple things that you are working on, and I'm really loving the stuff you're talking about with relationships and friendships and relationship with yourself. Can you give me the definition and the stuff you're working on right now?
Sure. One of the most recent things that I've been doing in a partnership with one of my very best coaching friends, Sherry Peterson, we've launched a new community called Authentic Friendships, a group on Facebook. The thing that inspired the two of us to start doing that was I've known her since 2005. We've been friends for a really long time. She lives in Minneapolis, so we don't even live anywhere near each other, right? But we've maintained this really great friendship over these years. And we had a conversation one day about, what our observations of friendship kind of was. Like, there's so many people who they're lonely, they want new friends, or you move to a different town and then you have to make friends, and sometimes it's hard to get in when you move to a new community, right? So some of the things we're doing with that group is creating the community. We're also doing workshops and programs to support people in expanding their friendships, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. How do you know when to continue like fighting for a friendship, and when do you just say, we're not in alignment enough to be friends, right? Or is there, do I want my friend to be a better friend? Maybe you bring your friend to the workshop with you so you have the experience together and really start expanding there. And so it's just been really eye-opening to see how many people like are interested in this work and really want to expand their friendships. And it's not just about friendship, right? Everything that's in the group, in the community, and in the things that we teach, it's all about relationship building. And not only with other people, but I say this often, I know I shared this with you earlier, that how do you be a better friend to yourself? I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of times where I have let myself down. I've accepted things that weren't acceptable, or I've let somebody push a boundary, or I've said yes to doing things that I just really didn't want to do or didn't want to take part in, right? Yeah. So, we're doing some free things, and we're doing some paid things, and just really excited about supporting women in helping each other and building each other up, because I think we are all far more powerful and impactful and inspiring when we all help each other and, eliminate the drama and, all of the things that undermine friendships, and addressing those things head on. How do you have courage? How do you have the courage to have that conversation with your friend who really hurt your feelings 3 months ago, right? It's already passed. They don't even know that it happened. It still hurts. And every time you go there, right, with your friend, like your heart still hurts. Like there could be resentment, or, and how do you get the courage to have those conversations? So that's part of the work that we're doing as well with people who are coming to our workshops.
So and I see such a theme through that, Debbie, with the safety and the confidence too. I can see how that would be such a great way to get conversation going as the relationships. When I was in high school, I would always only take on one friend. And all through high school, it was my friend Jennifer. And Debbie was like from 4th to 5th or 6th grade. And then Alicia was like 7th to 8th grade, because it was a safety thing. And I was hiding so much in life that I didn't know how to open up my heart to be with friendships. So and being in your group, I want to make sure you put that down here too when we're done. But being in a group like that, I could see how you can recognize some of the patterns that you may have and some of the confidence you need to be able to have those conversations. First, trusting yourself, getting to have a good friendship with you, and then being able to say, okay, now this is what I imagine my friendship to be, because now I feel loved. And it, of course, is a day-to-day thing. Of course, we can go back and forth in this and not be perfect, but the work that you do gets to allow us to keep moving forward and moving forward so that we learn more about ourselves. What are some of the conversations you're seeing within your group? Like, what are people honing in on, or that's helping them along the way to be able to open up the space?
Well, what's been really interesting, because we do a free Q&A and we're starting with tea and happy hours. And what's happening is ladies are coming to the call. They're discovering that they have, even though they're not in the same physical communities, right? They're finding that they have a lot of things in common. So they're not feeling as lonely. Some of the conversations that are coming up are around I think last week we talked a little bit about when do you say goodbye to a friendship and when do you not?
Ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah. And some of the conversations within the group on Facebook, you know, people are sharing. I mean, I did a post like, what are you reading? Like, it was simple. But what I really loved about that is that the ladies were sharing what they were reading. Other ladies were asking them, what's the book about? They were like, they were really just like all kind of coming together. And that's the point of it. Like, our biggest, Sherry and my biggest like vision for the group is to do a tour, right? And to go to different areas where people live and like gather these ladies together. So like to picnic at the park, or to meet for like have a group coffee with ladies who live anywhere in the vicinity, right? To help them start building their own local communities to be able to support one another. So that's kind of like that. That's like the giant goal. And I don't really think that it's too far off. I think it's an achievable goal. Not to mention, I love to travel, right?
Yeah, being spontaneous and traveling and be able to be in your passion and being able to help people see what's really possible for them.
Yeah.
So you have, right now you're working on the relationship and you have the group, and what's the name of your group? Is this something they can find in Facebook and be part of?
Yes, it's called Authentic Friendships.
Ooh.
And it's primarily geared towards women of all ages. And that is it's a Facebook group, so you can find it there. We also have a website called authenticfriendships.com.
Wow, I didn't know that. That you have, so you even have a web page.
Yes.
Debbie, this is really cool.
We had this idea. It was just a matter of, I think, figuring out when was the right time to do it. And I think with all the things going on in the world right now, it was an intuitive thing, Rhonda. You know, it's like, I think now's the time. Like, let's just see what happens. And like, our big goal was to have 100 ladies in the group. And now we are over 500, and it's only been, where are we, till mid-July? Less than 2 months.
So, there's a question that came out of this for me. I think I lost it, but it has something to do with friendships and traveling. Wow. Well, I want to tell you, I'm having so much fun. And I love that you're doing tea and happy hour. These virtual things are important. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. In these current times, I feel like this is the right launch time for doing something like this. I mean, for having 500 people and having such a short period of time, what are you, can we speak a little bit about the current times and what you're finding is like what's helping people heal through this COVID-19 and feeling boxed in? I know we have Black Lives Matter. We have all these really specific things going on right now. What do you find in your space in this world and what you're doing that's really speaking to the current times right now? If we could really...
I think right now people are looking for connection. an escape from all of that. One of the things that we're making sure, I mean, we talk about safety, right? One of the things we want to make sure that it's a safe group so nobody feels, you know, left out, or I hate to use the word offended, but like we keep the, it's no political stuff, no advertising. You know, what I found is that it's been supportive in ways that, you know, if somebody says they're having a hard day, you know, everybody, not everybody, but ladies jump on and check in on them, right? And it's just created a lot of connections. And I think that's what people are looking for. And I think even if in this group, sometimes I think it's easier to connect to people that you don't know and have some sense of connection in a different way, you know, because you don't build a best friendship in less than 400 hours, right? That's a lot of time to spend together, right, to create your friendship.
Yeah.
So I think this is a building block for people. It's a way to practice being a good friend. How do you interact? You know, like finding things that they have in common. And so, you know, we do fun posts. Like there was one I did earlier this week. Like, what's your dream car? You know, I mean, it's some stuff like that. Like those are the kinds of conversations you have when you just meet somebody. Like, where do you like to travel? Where do you live? So we're engaging in those kinds of conversations that are light, not heavy, because I think people need lightness right now. They need, you know, hope and inspiration and connection, you know, and kindness and love. And I think that that's what's really important for right now.
I hear your gentle soul, and I so appreciate you being with me one-on-one. Give me some information, how people can connect with you.
Okay.
I'd love to do that.
I do have a personal website. It's debbieternes.com. So DebbieTernes.com. We also have the authenticfriendships.com website. You can, let's see, I have an Instagram. It's my name, Debbie Ternes. Facebook, Debbie Ternes. So those are all the ways that you can get in touch with me.
Excellent. If I would love for you to come back to this group, put that information in there. We'll make sure that we get that all out for people. I love that you talked about the current times and what's going on. I do feel that the more that we can talk about stuff that is adventurous, like what kind of car would you love to have? Where would you like to travel? What do you think about us, you know, going from town to town and bringing authentic, like physically bringing tea time with authentic friendships? And I mean, what would that look like for the person that we go visit? I mean, there's so many ways to play with this, and with having a new community that's that many people, I believe there's so much noise out there because there's so many people trying to go online and figure things out. It sounds like your journey is really bringing people in and people can hear it. So it sounds like it's really good stuff. So are you ready to be?
We had a call this week, and we had a gal from Zimbabwe on the call. Like, so, yeah, it's expansive. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, I love that. So are you ready for our July 30th time together and inspiration?
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's so great. And I know you're going to be around all throughout these weeks as we are getting everything going. Everybody, get your free ticket. At some point, we will be charging because there's so many good things. This is going to be like a workshop. And what Debbie is going to be guiding and talking about is going to help you lift. And Debbie gets to have 45 minutes where we just get to be and discuss things. And it's going to be different than a Facebook Live. But it is a wonderful space to be, especially if you're feeling like you want something light. You want something that is really going to give you mindset transformation. This is where the entertainment is, to be able to like turn up your frequency. Notice how you feel when you first walk into, when you walk out, and how does that feel in your body? That, to me, that transformation and being able to have experts like Debbie is essential. We need this for today. So do yourself a favor. Go get a ticket and order some for your friend too. I'll make sure I get the link there. Debbie, anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, thank you so much for hosting me today, Rhonda. I really appreciate it and appreciate the connection and opportunity, and hopefully meet some new friends.
Yes, and I'm so happy we got to spend time together. As you know, Debbie, you and I, when we spend time together, we just can't stop talking because we just feel so excited about what's out there in the world and the things that aren't working and how we have ideas of how to make things change. So stay tuned for our July 30th show. You're going to learn even more about Debbie as we go through each week. Thank you, my friend. Have a good afternoon.
Fresh inspiration.